process is, when you take off your clothes, as we were using the analogy, THA is not going to come back and use that mold to prosecute you because you didn't agree. So in terms of making sure our clients are comfortable, it's a process where transfer pricing is not an exact science. I may see something as cost plus 10, THA may think it is cost plus 2, and they may think it's a different methodology. So having seen that mold that I'm cost plus 10, how do they, they could use GCT or something else. But the agreement that we're told is that will not happen. So that in terms of preparing clients, that goes a long way to making them feel better that you're not going to disclose all the molds and the various deficiencies. And it's in writing, because I asked for that to say, I love Ainsley, but if Ainsley decides to immigrate, what do we do if, this administration agrees not to loan? So I asked last time, and I was told you'd get it in writing. Because things in writing, you can then say open, and I can take off my clothes.
Prenuptial, we know prenuptial.
Well, prenup. I'm not sure about the marriage yet, but yes.
All right, Mr. Wood, if you'd like to comment at this point.
Well, I mean, we're getting into very difficult water. We've got undressing, we've got prenuptial agreement, and I'm tempted to extend the analogies, but I'm not. Look, this is an area. It's not an. I understand.
May I just ask you about the microphone?
Okay, that better.
You haven't turned it on yet?
Oh, okay. It's not a problem that I used to have when I was administering the UK's programme, because the UK is a very big economy. I do understand, and often, very often, most taxpayers would approach you informally on a no-names basis through an advisor. Often not necessarily a meeting, a phone call, or a conversation at the end of the meeting that's actually been organised for some other purpose. So, in general, we had loads of those contacts. Many of them never went anywhere. I would actually often try and guess who the taxpayer was, and almost invariably I get it wrong. Now, possibly the guessing might be a little easier in a comparatively small economy like Jamaica, and so I understand the concern. What I think Bevan has in mind, and obviously it's better that you hear this from TAJ rather than me, especially since anything to do with IT and computers is most emphatically not addressing my skill set. I'm old-fashioned, I like documents. But I think what TAJ have in mind, and Bevan can tell me if I've got this wrong, is a situation where the team that deals with the expression of interest, and hopefully if an application is forthcoming, will be a separate team from perhaps particular individuals, not just drawn randomly from the transfer pricing audit community within THA. And I think what I'm hearing is that to the extent that documents are made available, now bear in mind, you aren't going to be making any documents available as a no-names expression of interest type discussion, which I think is what most taxpayers will probably want. So all you'll be doing is having a conversation about this is the issue, this is the materiality, this is the transfer pricing method we are thinking of, or we're already employing and we think is right. Now that's a very general kind of discussion, and I find it very difficult to see that if that's what your sort of discussion your advisor is having, without you, the taxpayer, being present, I can't really see that and let's assume that there's no further discussion, it doesn't go anywhere. I don't really see that actually TAJ have got anything that they can they can use, to be honest. The other thing that I think Bevan said is that you're choosing transfer pricing audit cases on the basis of a risk assessment process. Now, I don't know how TAJ's risk assessment processes work, but I suspect there'll be some element of scoring, you know, on some kind of grid. And you're looking for high risk rather than low risk, and materiality rather than immateriality, and so forth. So it seems that if that is the way they already prioritize the cases that they're going to take up for transfer pricing audits, I can't see that that's actually their method. So again, a no-names discussion, I can't see how that's going to shift that one way or the other. Now, obviously, if taxpayers are right in thinking that actually they've got certain transactions which are high risk from their perspective, because they're material, because there is some uncertainty about, as Brian said, it's not an exact science, transfer pricing. It's not like an ordinary tax rule. You know, it's not either yes or no, it's maybe. It's shades of grey. You know, how deep is the grey? How light is the grey? That's often what transfer pricing is. And most arguments in transfer pricing are in this sort of middle ground where often there is actually some genuine dispute about what the fact pattern is, and indeed, you know, about where value is being added. It is very often the case, for instance, and I've dealt with many companies in my career, it is very often the case that if you talk to all the supposed main actors in the company, you find that they are collectively responsible for 165% of the added value in that company. By which I mean, people say things which are often, they may genuinely believe them, but they can't all be right. You know, within a company, if you've got a successful business, everybody wants to take responsibility for it. And in transfer pricing, that has sort of awkward consequence in that administrations may have reasons, by virtue of talking to the people, the senior management in their own jurisdictions, of coming up with assessing 165% of the actual profits from the transaction collectively on the basis of what they're being told. And which raises the other issue which we haven't covered about bilateral agreements, which will tend to avoid that. But I suspect that's way off.
So that's my next question. For us to talk a little bit about the other types of agreements that exist, and the fear, and to address the fear that some taxpayers may have about the cost involved in entering into an actual agreement and the groundwork that is required to be put in.
Well, let's talk briefly of there's two different subjects.
Right.
Okay. The first is there's mention on the slides, and I didn't talk about them, and it's mentioned in the quite considerable amount of references to what's called bilateral and multilateral agreements. Actually, the whole APA idea emerged out of a desire by certain administrations. It is believed the Internal Revenue Service and the ATO of Australia to avoid having disputes under the Mutual Agreement Procedure article of the tax treaty. It's the Article 25 of the model treaty. It is also alleged that this idea blamed Johnny Walker for this idea, because supposedly of 4 Johnny Walkers kind of conversations between the commissioner, then commissioner of the Australian Revenue, and the head of the international tax at the IRS. And the idea was, look, we have these long audits, we then have economic double taxation. In other words, the same pile of profits has been taxed twice in 2 jurisdictions. Why don't we actually use the mutual agreement procedure as a mechanism for agreeing things up front? And from that conversation, then basically that is where APAs come from. They do not come from ordinary tax legislative kind of background. They come from the difficulties in operating the tricky parts of double taxation treaties. So they originally actually exist, and indeed some countries will only undertake bilateral agreements. They will not allow unilateral agreements, which is what I suspect that most people will be interested in a Jamaican context. So a bilateral agreement is, broadly speaking, where instead of having a dispute with an audit-type dispute about transfer pricing with one or both tax administrations, you basically pitch the proposition to both of the tax administrations, and they go and beat each other up rather than beating you up. That's the way. That's the definition of a bilateral agreement. But you can only have those where, because broadly speaking, the intention is that whatever the administrations will emerge with, which may be what you actually asked for, it may be something different, but in that circumstance, it will avoid double taxation. We will end up with 100% of the profits being taxed across the two jurisdictions and not 165%. A multilateral agreement is simply a game where more than two administrations can play. I think it's inherently unlikely you will ever have a multilateral agreement. And believe me, you don't want to have one, because honestly, they take years and years and years. So those are the other kinds of agreements on offer. You can only have a bilateral if you actually have an appropriate tax treaty, and if the administration, not just THA, but the administration at the other end of the transaction is prepared to enter into a bilateral with Jamaica. Now, a lot of administrations are very short of resources, and they will frequently try and find means of turning away cases. One of the means that some administrations have is they charge very large fees. Jamaica is, at least for the moment, content to charge you $10,000 for a bilateral. Jamaica. But the US might or Canada might effectively charge a fee of $50,000, $100,000 plus their dollars, not your dollars.
So may I just interrupt and ask Mr. Sinclair to address the point of who needs to apply for an APA? And I want to also ask Ms. Parker to address the matter of penalties in respect of transfer pricing.
Thanks, Dennis. Well, we have already indicated that what we would have expected to see are multinational enterprises with significant or material transactions that you will see as a risk in terms of how it is treated for tax purposes. If those areas we think would be substantially the areas that we would want to see covered. Large taxpayers with significant transactions,